In this video, I'll be talking about note ratios, which deal with the relationships between note values. What are ratios? Suppose you have a pie. The pie has not been cut. It is whole. But cut that pie into two equal pieces, and each piece represents 1/2. Cut your pie again. Now each piece is 1/4 of the whole pie. Make 2 more cuts, and your pieces are each 1/8 of the pie. Ratios apply to notes in music as well. Now our job is to figure out how the many different types of notes relate to one another. On this chart, I will show you how the values of notes relate to one another. The largest note in music is called a whole note. A whole note looks like an empty oval. If you divide a whole note into 2 equal parts, you get half notes. Half notes look similar to whole notes, but add a stem. Now we'll cut each half note in half again. These notes would be 1/4 the value of a whole note, so they're called quarter notes. Quarter notes look very similar to half notes, but the note head is filled instead of empty. Observe that each half note divides into 2 quarter notes. It is accurate to say that a quarter note is worth half of a half note, and a half note is equal to 2 quarter notes. The next note in our sequence is called an eighth note. Eighth notes look like quarter notes, but add a flag. Eighth notes are often grouped together in pairs. When this happens, the flag is replaced with a beam connecting the notes. They can even be beamed into groups of 4 or more. Each eighth note is 1/8 of a whole note. It takes 8 eighth notes to equal the value of 1 whole note, 4 eighth notes to equal the value of a half note, and 2 eighth notes to equal a quarter note. The next division is called a 16th note. 16th notes have one more beam than an eighth note. They are typically beamed in groups of 4. Each eighth note divides into 2 16th notes. 4 16th notes are equal to 1 quarter note or 2 eighth notes. Can you guess what type of note division would come next? How many beams do you think we would draw on those notes? Let's apply what we've learned. Pause the video while you think through these equations for a few seconds, and then push play when you're ready to go over them together. Did you figure it out? How many half notes equal 1 whole note? If you said 2, you are correct. And how many quarter notes are equal to a whole note? The answer in this case would be 4. How many eighth notes are equal to a half note? If you said 4, good job. And lastly, how many eighth notes are equal to a quarter note? That answer, again, is 2. Thank you for watching this video on note ratios. If you still feel that you need some more information on note ratios and note values, you can check out the theory lessons on the website musictheory.net.